I want to quickly talk about the exponent rules, why they work, and then how to quickly do them. Again, if you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more math help. X to the third times x to the fifth. Here's what I want you to think about this. An exponent counts multiplications. This means we have 3 x's multiplied together. This means we have 5 x's multiplied together. So how many total x's do we have multiplied together? The answer is 8. We have 8 of them. Remember, exponents mean how many multiplications. Here, I have 4 x's multiplied together. Here, I have 9 more. So how many total x's are being multiplied together? The answer is 13. When you see x to a power times x to a power, please note the bases must be the same. It appears as though we are simply adding the exponents. And the reason is all we are doing is summing how many multiplications there are. Power times power, add them. Here, we have x squared cubed. So just think about that. That means we've got x squared times x squared times x squared for a total of x to the 6th. We have 6 x's all multiplied together. Here we have x to the 4th squared. We've got 2x to the 4ths multiplied together for a total of 8 x's multiplied together. Please notice what we did, or what it appeared that we did, was simply multiplied those powers. If we have x to the a all raised to the b, we do x to the a times b, because we're simply figuring out, okay, there were a x's and b number of times, so that's why we multiply. Here we have 6 x's on the top, and we have 2 x's on the bottom. If I wrote that out, it would look like this. I have 6 x's all multiplied together, and on the bottom I have 2. And when I start dividing things out, I would say x divided by x is 1. X divided by x is 1, which means I have 4 left over. Here I have x to the 9th divided by x to the 4th. So I have 9 x's on the top that would cancel with 4 on the bottom and leave me with 5 x's multiplied together. When you have x to a number divided by x to a number, what it appears as though you're doing is simply subtracting them, because we're just figuring out how much different they were to figure out how many x's were left. Negative exponents. What in the world do we do with negative exponents? Well, here's what I want you to think about. X cubed means multiply 3 x's 3 times. X to the negative third, a negative means opposite. What is the opposite of multiplying 3 times? It's dividing 3 times. So this is equal to 1 divided by x cubed. If you have x to the negative 7th, that is the same as dividing by x 7 times. Notice now it's a positive exponent because we're just dividing by an x each time. If you have 4 raised to the negative third, that is the same as 1 over 4 cubed, dividing by 4 3 times. Now, if the negative exponent were already in the denominator, let's say you had 1 over x to the negative 4th. Well, this is the same as 1 over x to the 4th, which is the same as just 1 times x to the 4th over 1. Remember, when we are dividing by a fraction, we multiply by the reciprocal. That's just x to the 4th. So if it's already in the denominator, if you have, 1 over 4 to the negative 2nd, that's the same as 4 to the positive 2nd. So negative exponents always make it look like the whole thing is just moving to the other side, or to the numerator or denominator, depending where it was to begin with. But this all has to do with the fact that a negative exponent means divide that many times. Let's put this all together. What if you had something ugly like this? 3x squared y to the cubed, 4xy to the 4th. Okay, well, start with 3 squared. Numbers do what they're supposed to. 3 squared is 3 times 3. That's 9. A power to a power, we multiply. So x squared is x to the 4th. Y cubed squared is y to the 6th. 4 squared is 16. Make sure 4 times 4. Then we've got x squared and y to the 8th. Then use your division rules. Remember, the numbers are the numbers. I would just say, well, 4 minus 2, that's x squared, and 6 minus 8 is negative 2. Just simply use your division. Count them up. How many? Now, most times you don't want negative exponents, but remember, a y to the negative second simply means it should be in the denominator because it meant divide. So I have 9x squared divided by 16y squared is my final answer. Let's do one more of those where we put everything together. Here we've got 2 to the negative second. I'm just going to write that. And remember, power to power we will multiply, so x to the 4th, y to the 6th, 3 to the negative second, x to the 4th, y to the negative 8th. Now the numbers, because they're to that negative exponent, these will actually switch places. The 2 will go into the denominator, and the 3 will go in the numerator. So I'm just going to write 3 squared, and I'm going to write 2 squared. Then I'm going to use my rules. Well, 4 minus 4 is 0. Anything to the 0, I'm going to write x to the 0, but anything to the 0 is 1. And then 6 minus negative 8 is positive 14. That. So I've got 9 y to the 14th over 4, and that is my final answer.